Now in this tutorial we are going to learn about the data visualization technique using Matplotlib and data processing technique using the Pandas library in Python. So Matplotlib, as we have earlier used in our examples, is used for data visualization technique. Now we can create various sort of plots here like histograms, bar plot, straight lines and anything like that. So let's learn how do we use the Matplotlib in order to plot some of our graphs. So firstly we need to import the Matplotlib library. So we do from Matplotlib import pyplot. So this line always remains constant. So pyplot package can be referred to as PLT. Now most of the Matplotlib utilities lies under the pyplot submodule, and these are usually imported under the PLT alias. So this is a short form for Matplotlib and pyplot. Now let's just create an array, and so for creating an array we need to import again numpy, and then we create a simple sets of array, or let's say I had named it as x points. So we create first array like this. Let's keep it as 0 and 6, and let's keep this as, let's keep this set as 0 and let's say 1 foot. So once you do that, now you need to use this thing called plt.plot, which will plot our variables where we store the values. So we have like x points and y points, and then we will show the result. So in order to show the result we need to use this thing called as plt.show. So let's see what it has created. Alright, so this thing has given error. So I have missed here this actually. This needs to be cut. All right, and this is like this. So now we plot this. All right, so it has given a straight line like this. So this is how you plot a simple set of diagrams like this. Now let's learn on how do we add the labels out there. For example, we need to add any sort of labels in our plot. Then what you need to do, so let's just add like this. Now we need to import the matplotlib. So from matplotlib import pyplot as plt, and then we create a x-axis, maybe like any sort of random points, 5, 8 and 10, and then similarly the y coordinate as y, let's name it as 12, 6 and 4. Now we will plot these 2 points like x and y, and then we can also add the title. Like we need to add the title as title, and let's keep this just as information, so info, and let's label the x-axis and y-axis also. So x label as x-axis and y label as y-axis, and then we finally show or print our result. So let's see what we get here. So there you have title as information, there you see x-axis, and there you see the y-axis which has printed. Now let's do another thing, which is we can also plot without using any lines. So let's see how do we do that in matplotlib. So we need to again write it as import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt, and then we again import the numpy as np. Now we, let's say, keep a variable like this, xp np dot array. We create an array like we did before, and we create again a second array, np dot array, and let's keep it points like 3 and 10. You can keep any sort of random points. Then you plot these two, x comma y, and for plotting no lines you can add it like o, or sorry, it's now you need to show this. Now it won't show any sort of points there. So let's see what it has printed. There you see it has no any lines. Now what if you need to print certain very without any x points? So how do we do that? Let's just create multiple number of arrays here. So let's keep it as 5, 4, 8, and let's say 12, and let's just cancel this. So let's see what sort of figure does it displays without any x-axis. Alright, so you have no x there, so you need to cancel out this, and you need to again cancel out this one. Now you only print this, right? So there you go, this is a graph without any x points. So that is how you print. Now we will be learning on how do we create some bar plots. So in order to do that, you need to again import the matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. So this line always remain constant, dot pyplot as plt, and then we again import the numpy. So we import numpy as np, and now let's just again create two arrays like this, np dot array, and we write it like this one, right? So it's included like this. So we create like, let's say a, b, let's name up to c. Let's do it like this, c, and alright, let's again keep 1 as d. Now we create a second array which will be y, equal to np dot array. Let's keep numbers now. Let's keep it as 3, 8, 2, and 10. It doesn't matter whatever. Now we do this as plt dot bar, which will create a bar plot of these two, and then we will use plt dot show to show what it has created. So let's do this and let's see what the result comes. Alright, so this is an indentation error, so you write it like this. Now you will get the result. So there you see, you have created a bar plot using the plt.bar. Now what we can do is we can also create a histogram. Now histogram is a graph showing frequency distributions, right? Now it is a graph showing the number of observations within a given interval. Now let's learn how do we create a histogram. Now in order to create histogram, you just have to write these two lines as same, and then we have to create a variable like this. So we will create x equal to np dot it's random dot normal, which will create our histogram. Let's keep as 10 and then as 250, and then we have to write it like plt dot hist. So plt dot hist x, and then we will show what sort of histogram has this created. So there you have successfully made a histogram. So that is how you do on how do we create a histograms. Now we will be creating a pie chart. So in order to create a pie chart, you can use pyplot, and you can use the pie function to draw pie charts. So let's learn on how do we plot again these pie charts. So let's do in the same line. So let's name it as x equal to np dot array. Let's just create a single dimensional array. Let's name it as 35, 25, again 25, and 15. So we need to write it like plt dot pie as y, and then plt dot show, which will create our pie chart. So there you have successfully printed out the pie chart. So that is how you use Matplotlib to visualize different sorts of data you have been given. Now we start with another important library in Python for data manipulation and for analyzing data, which is called as Pandas library. So Pandas is actually a Python library which is used to analyze various sorts of data. It's used to actually clean and process your data before you put it into training for machine learning, right? So it will filter out some of the errors from the data and it will actually clean your data. So that is what Pandas is used for. So it's very important library. So now let's look at how do we use Pandas to actually create a data and actually look how attractive it makes data to look for. So we import pandas as pd. Pd is an alias or short form for pandas. Now let's say we create a website information stored in xyz underscore web, which contains your web information. So we will create something like dictionary, and let's say first thing you keep is day, the number of days you use a website. So it is like 6 days, let's say, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So these are the number of days you open a website. And the second thing is the number of visitors which comes to a website to visit, right? So we write it like visitors, the number of visitors which comes to a website, which is really a good thing for web development, right? Now let's say first day you have like 1,000 of them, next day is 700, next day is 600, and other day it's 1,000 again, and let's say other day is 400, and finally it's 350. Now you can also write this thing, which is the bounce rate. So bounce rate is the number of people, right, number of users which comes into a website and directly signs off once they are entered in a website. So it's pretty bad thing for a website, you know. So now you, like, let's say first day 20 of them has bounced off, other day it's again 20, and let's say it's a 15, other day it's 65, let's say, other day it's 40, and finally it's like anything, all right, let's say 9. So we have like 6 of them. So that is what finally our data looks like. Now df is actually a data frame. So what exactly data frame is? As it's a two-dimensional data structure, which is where data is aligned in tabular fashion in rows and columns. So pandas data frame consists of 3 principal components, which are the data, rows and columns. So it's actually two-dimensional size. So that is what data frame is. Now we need to call our library again, and we would like write like this data frame, and then we store our weight information there. Now let's print the df, which is our data frame. Well, let's see how our data looks. So there you see it has organized it into rows and columns. So you have day, visitors, bounce rate, and this is what our data looks like, and these are the serial numbers for it. So that is what pandas does. It actually visualizes data or analyze the data in a more efficient way. So we have a number of data in before we move on to the machine learning, so it process it, and we can analyze the data in a better way using the pandas library. So that was it for this tutorial, guys. Thank you for watching.